This meeting to order with the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I do not see Mr. Miller. So roll call, please.
Mayor Taylor.
Here.
Councilor Boland.
Here.
Councilor Berger.
Here.
Councilor Crumpton.
Here.
Councilor Cope.
Here.
Councilor Schaefer.
Here.
Councilor Zimmerman.
Here.
Roll call is complete, Mr. Mayor.
Perfect, thank you. Welcome everybody to our meeting for June 1st, 1702. We appreciate those that made it out. So we'll move on to approve minutes from council meeting 1701, May 18th. Has everyone had a chance to review those?
Make a motion to approve minutes from council meeting 1701.
Second.
Is there any council comments, changes? Everything looks good. Perfect. Any public comment? Seeing no public comment online. I'll call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. That moves on to department heads. City administrator. Do you have a report for us, sir?
Sure do. In the water department, the city received 2 applications for the geotechnical part of the dam. Only 1 applicant was received in time to meet the deadline. Tetra Tech was selected to complete the geotechnical survey for the lower reservoir for the northern retaining wall. The item is scheduled to come before the council on June 15th for approval. We're a bit under a time crunch there. Reason being, 15th will be approval. The 18th, the drill rig will be here. That's how close this is going to be. So we're getting a bunch of things together to make that happen. So, due to the project timeline, the city was only able to locate 1 subcontractor with the ability to complete the necessary core sampling, Tetra Tech, before October of this year. The drilling subcontractor will mobilize from North Dakota on June 16th and is expected to be drilling on June 18th. June 10th, the city will be opening bids for the temporary bridge needed to allow the drill equipment across the creek to reach an embankment wall. The bid results will be presented to the council also on June 15th for that. We recognize that this is a short and challenging timeline. However, in order to complete the repair or replacement work this year, the city will need to continue moving quickly and efficiently. The city is also waiting for responses to the RFQ we put out for dam certified engineers who will design the repair and replacement of the northern wall. We continue to meet with Montana DES, FEMA, ER Assist regarding the ongoing work to restore the lower reservoir to operation, including reimbursement documentation and invoicing. Vanessa with ER Assist has done an excellent job working with FEMA to ensure the required requests and documentations are submitted properly. And ER Assist is handling most of the reimbursement meetings at this point. City is still waiting for a few last-minute invoices from DNRC and final payroll documentation. However, most of the Category B emergency protective measure documentation has been submitted to ER Assist, and we'll be requesting initial reimbursement for the work that's been completed. On the sewer side of the house, the preliminary engineering report is complete, and the city's only waiting on the pre-formatted grant request documents needed to close up the grants and projects. WWC Engineering has done an excellent job with the document, and we look forward to working with them in the future. Because the city did not receive the CDBG grant for First Montana Lift Station, a firm commitment of funds must be completed for the project. That is one of the items on the agenda tonight. That's basically stating that the funds that we did not receive for the anticipated grant, the city will cover. So, and we do have those funds available. On another news in the sewer, the city recently experienced an occurrence involving possible industrial waste being introduced into the wastewater system. That created a bit of a headache. It triggered an investigation, identified a source, as well as a cleanup effort at the wastewater treatment plant. The contaminant entered one of the influent vaults at the plant and required 2 shutdowns, including pumping out the vault. City hired GMF services to assist with the cleanup. In the claim packet, there was a claim for JMF. That's what that was for. In conjunction with the pumping out of the vault, the city crews also inspected and cleaned several accessible locations throughout the plant. The city has reached out at this point to the county health department for assistance in addressing the issue and moving forward with it. An additional repair was also completed on a seeping main in the clarifier vault, allowing the west clarifier to be brought back online. Once the west clarifier is fully operational, future plan is to shut down the east clarifier, drain it, clean it, and then perform some long-needed maintenance and replace 2 remaining valves that isolate that clarifier that are not functioning correctly at this point. Other news, the city received an extension from NRDP, and we will be going out to bid to convert the spoils pile up at the ski area into a parking lot as previously approved by the council. The bid documents will state that if bids exceed the remaining NRDP grant funds, the project will not be awarded unless additional funding is secured and formally committed. Phase 2 of Spruce Street reconstruction project is complete. With the exception of a lengthy list of discrepancies, the city is currently working with the contractor and the engineer to address the necessary corrections in the next coming weeks. Also, Cedar Street punch list items, they were working on that today and will be there for a few days doing minor touch-ups and asphalt repair. And that concludes my report.
Perfect, thank you. Does the council have any questions?
I do. Gary, did you say that on the 15th that it's going to come in front of council for the bridge?
So
but they need that for the drill truck to go across on the 18th?
Correct. There'll be 2 things. The bridge, we'll start with the bridge, because that's literally you have to put the bridge in before anything else. As part of the bridge proposal, we have to advertise it for what they classify adequate amount of time. The the turn-in point is the 10th of June. Obviously, we don't have a meeting before then. The geotechnical firm, we've been in contact with them. Everybody knows that we're kind of under a time crunch because of what it is. We'd like to get it done before winter. We don't know what kind of issues we may have if we have to go with a copper dam throughout, another winter, because we don't know what that looks like, snow load wise. So geotechnical, Tetra Tech, they basically reached out to their subcontractors that they usually use for drilling. They had one that was coming available on the 18th. We in turn reached out to the companies that we put the request against for the bridge and said, hey, we're really on a tight timeline. Can you guys make that? They both, they responded, and tomorrow Justin Williams and I were going to have an on-site with a couple of the contractors that are interested, so they know exactly what's going on. They are available. They have bridges available. We're literally just basically crossing the T's and dotting the I's at that point. So on the 15th, you'll see basically a contract for the bridge. You'll also see the contract for the geotechnical all at the same time. And once that's ready to roll, they'll be here within 3 days, punching holes.
Is that 3-day timeline, does that give them enough time to put that bridge in and make sure it's safe enough to get that drilling rig across it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And that's one of the reasons why we're having a meeting tomorrow, to discuss all of that. So.
Any other questions?
Yeah, could you elaborate a little bit on the industrial waste spill? Just what was the nature of that?
What that was, so basically, Deanna B., our lead operator of the wastewater plant, she and Fred Appleby started noticing that there was just a different type of material coming through the plant. And so in the bar screen, they started noticing a very gritty material, and it was all like, it looked like a manufactured material. It's a consistent size, a consistent format. It's not, say, like gravel, that would be all different sizes. So Justin and I, we spent the better part of an afternoon trying to figure out which part of the town it may have originated. You know, we were thinking construction, so on and so forth. And the neat thing is our sewer system actually has two sides. So we noted that it was on one side and not on the other, so that narrowed our footprint down a little bit. And we start pulling manholes and start looking around, kind of sleuth this thing out. We feel that we have a pretty good idea where it came from. It's not ironclad. We don't have, you know, we didn't send it off to a lab or anything like that. Did some more sleuthing per se, made some phone calls, did some jetting, and we've narrowed it down to a block. So the next step was to basically make sure it didn't go through the plant, because it's not, so the plant's basically, it's a giant organic structure. You know, that we digest human waste using bacteria and different things like that. If we get chemicals or products that go through the plant that aren't supposed to be there, that can really create havoc, and we can have a discharge event into the tubing where we would be out of spec. So that's what we're trying to prevent. The other part about it is it doesn't appear to be like silica based, it's more metal based. And so if you know anything about pumps and valves and different things, they don't like that kind of stuff. So moving forward, we've already contacted, like I said, the county and a few other entities and stuff. We're trying to make sure we have all the information and, you know, narrow down the offender, and then a conversation will be had at that point. You know, we anticipate, as you know, city leadership, that we may start seeing some more incidents like that coming up in the future, just because the landfill is going to start charging for commercial waste and different things like that. And we're going to start seeing, you know, petroleum products and all these other different things that we didn't see in the past. So we're just trying to get ahead of that curve.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.
Any other council?
You got one?
I do. So what you're finding in there, is it toxic?
As in, like,
As
is
in
it?
if it gets into the ground, gets into our water sources?
No, it's pretty much an inert type of material. The biggest problem would be, and that's one of the things we're trying to figure out, you know, what is it, you know, what can it do to our system?
Right.
It's, right now we anticipate it would mostly be a maintenance headache more than anything. You know, it could affect seals, could affect pumps, different things
A
like
lot
that.
of fine debris then?
Yeah, and it's not anything that, we're not seeing anything in the labs that are, you know, where it's skewing the biology of the plant. So,
Just back to the machinery?
yep, and costly to remove, so.
Other comments, questions? Perfect. Thanks, sir. Moves on to streets. Mr. Williams.
You, the mayor, council. So, month of May, we've been busy doing a lot of jetting, sweeping, patching potholes, a lot of alley work and grading. We got a request for proposal out for the overlay on Cabinet Heights. We'll be meeting on that topic tomorrow morning as well. For the month of May, we had 5 cemetery digs. They were all 5 of those were cremains. We had, as Gary stated earlier, we had some vac truck work at the wastewater treatment plant, and also some pipe replacement at the wastewater treatment plant. We had 1 sidewalk replacement for the month of May. Water line replacements, there were 5. Sewer line replacements, there were 2. Cemetery is, the state of the cemetery right now is we're just waiting. We're going to do a tap tomorrow on one of the mains that runs through the cemetery that will supply water for irrigation. That contractor will start a week from today. Get that irrigation in, and then we'll get it hydro-seeded, and then we'll start growing grass, and then eventually start opening up plots in those 2 new blocks. Flower baskets are up on Mineral. They look nice. Another fine job she has done this year. All of the existing irrigation throughout the city properties is on. We had a few mainline repairs. We had lots of sprinkler head replacements, control valves, solenoids, and nodes that all operate, and you got to be in spec for them to turn on, off, and broadcast water. So we spent quite a bit of time working on those systems. We had 4 safety meetings, fire prevention, spotters, open holes, and motorcycle awareness. We also placed 2 no shooting signs with penalty on city property near the spoils pile at the upper Flower Creek Reservoir. There were some reports came in that there were people up there shooting firearms right directly across from the biathlon course, the cross-country ski course over there that people like to walk. So got signs up. We also did some erosion control on the upper Flower Creek Reservoir access road. Go through the gate, drops down the hill. We had some water that kind of found its way across the road and started eroding on one of the embankments, so we remediated that. We also had some tree removal from behind the dam, the upper Flower Creek Reservoir, so we'll have high water. We'll get trees, they'll just kind of migrate themselves down through the reservoir, and they'll get lodged up behind the dam. So we probably removed 2 dump truck loads of trees. Bathrooms are opened up. Riverfront Park and Fireman's Park, both bathrooms at Fireman's Park Campground and the Fireman's Park itself are open, and then Riverfront Park. And the splash pad is also up and running. Friday we placed a base and post for a new speed sign. It's going to be set up on Balsam heading westbound between Dakota and Utah. So we have 2 existing already, one on Education Way, one on Louisiana. So request of the chief, we got a 3rd. We'll be placing that tomorrow morning. So it kind of gives people an idea that, you know, you're driving a little bit faster than you should be on the side streets. We've also been very busy with lots of updating to the water meters. Water meters have a life expectancy. So we're constantly, you know, you change a bunch out, you make repairs to them, and then you turn right back around and you get right back on it. And you're just, it's a constant battle. So radio reads go bad, touch reads go bad. They all have lifespans. They're either, you know, could be reading one way or the other, or just not reading at all. So we want to be fair and just with that, so we stay on it. We work through that through our asset replacement list. That money is put in there every year. It's a maintenance item. We're required to do it. So we've been very busy with that. Things are going a lot better. There's been a noticeable change with things. So we've been putting forth a lot of effort in that in the last 6 months. We'll be continuing to do so moving forward. We also did a final walkthrough and acceptance at the Libby Creek Community Development. So that's a trailer court out here on Highway 2, south of town. So that got all new. So they were on well and septic. They had a lot of cross-contamination going on over years, failed system. I mean, just a lot of money came together with some groups, and that's how we ended up having the project tying Louisiana down Cedar Street onto the port property, and then out south of town, Spencer Road and that Scott Stroll out in that area. Scott Stroll, yeah. So that was, we did a walkthrough on that. We did 2. The second one was just done a couple weeks back. Did a final acceptance on that with some deficiencies that myself and Chuck Tom had noticed. Worked with the engineer, he notified the contractor, and those have been remedied, so that's done. Lots of vehicle and equipment maintenance and street shop, so we're just trying to stay on top of things. You know, we're trying to do our best to update, you know, get new to us things that we use on a regular, continual basis. Doesn't make sense to throw a lot of money at things that aren't going to hold their value. We're doing the best we can. We got a great mechanic, very patient, knowledgeable, you know, and does a good job. Sometimes we get stymied. We pick Mr. Koskell's brain quite often. He's very helpful to us. So we've been getting a lot of things out of the way there. And the street department went to a bulk oil system, so that will save us quite a bit of money over time. That will save roughly $5 to $8 a gallon pending viscosity. So looking forward to that money savings in that line item within our budgets to help us out, you know, to endure with our rising fuel and oil costs. So this is a great thing to have. Any questions?
Council have any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
And Chief Erkenbrock. Good to have you back.
Council, thank you, sir. Month of May was it's a little window over free for us. We tend to have less calls for service, less interactions during this time before it really picks up in summer. So this past month we had 270 cases. Last year we had 180. As far as our calls for service, we've had 4 assaults, 19 disturbances, 8 threatening calls, 4 theft calls, 6 mental health, and a good portion of those disturbances were actually part of that mental health as well. We had a specific case that took up a lot of our officers' time when we were trying to get this person aid and get them some resources. And we were finally able to do that, and that person is taking care of their mental health in a different location currently. We had 35 public assist calls, 8 juvenile problems, 10 walkthroughs, 17 city ordinances, 26 suspicious persons with vehicles, 6 crashes, 6 DUIs, and 71 traffic stops. So overall, it was a kind of a lighter month for us. We appreciate the reprieve, catch up on paperwork and all our other administrative duties. Some other fun facts that came out recently. They've been out for a while, but they were just brought up to my attention. That Libby is actually ranked #1 for the safest city in Montana currently. So we're really excited about that. That made us feel good. And then we recently were able to open up our last position for the police department. We've had a very large interest in that, so that's been really exciting to watch and see a variety of people who are interested in taking on that role. Kind of talking about those speed signs, some fun numbers for the city crew. Hopefully we can use those numbers for grants and things like that. So, best guess, in the 36-week school year, how many cars go southbound on Education Way in one school year, 36 weeks? Best guess.
220,000.
220,000? Any other guesses?
That was way over my guess.
Yeah, I was thinking like
well,
7,000.
75,000.
Well, he said 14,000 on Louisiana in like a month,
That's
so
right.
I mean, I went
So
shot for the ballpark.
Education Way has about 5,000 per week.
Wow, so you're not that far off.
So in a 36-week period, so the standard school year, over or around 180,000 cars are going southbound on Education Way. So that's why that road is taking so much wear and tear, such a beating.
And that doesn't include school buses, or does it?
It does. But that's only southbound. That's not including anything going northbound.
Well,
And then northbound on Louisiana, you already said about 14 to 15,000 per week. So in 1 year, about 780,000 cars go northbound on Louisiana Avenue.
and the average speed is 30 miles an hour.
Not anymore. Those signs they've been great. We've seen a drastic drop in speed in those areas, as well as we've been able to use that data for emphasis patrols. We had a very clear spike at 7 a.m. to about 7:15 on Education Way. There's a spike in speed where teachers are running a little late. And then at 3:15, right when school's out, parents are running late, there's a spike in speed as well. So we're able to address that accordingly. And then same thing with Louisiana. So the signs have been very beneficial. We're really excited about them, and we have seen a drastic drop in speed in those areas because of it. And we're really grateful for the people who are seeing those signs and responding accordingly. So we've been very fortunate with that. But yeah, hoping we can use those numbers to help get some additional funding for the street crew so we can repair those roads, make them better, do whatever we need to. Because I say 180,000 cars on that road is a lot. And then almost over 750,000 cars on Louisiana Avenue. So our little town does have a lot more traffic than we think. So yeah, that's one of the big reasons why my officers make so many traffic stops, why they're so eager about being out, being visible, because there is a lot of traffic that goes through them. So that's all I have for the report. Unless there's any questions.
Council, any questions?
Thank you.
Sir?
Thank you.
Clerk Treasurer.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, Council, one of the main things I've been working on is the workers' comp, because that is coming up to an end at the end of next month. Reached out to 2 of the companies, trying to get some input and get some quotes back. So far, I've only had one quote that's coming back, and that is actually for Montana State Fund, and it's, most of the cities are actually with Montana State Fund, so I'm kind of waiting for that quote to come back. Because we had some adjustments this last week, I had to give them some new numbers. So, because the last number, it looked like it was going to be about, I want to say 48,000 a year, which is really close to actually what we are paying right now. So, but I'll have more information for you guys hopefully by next meeting on that one. And that was what I had for finance.
Okay.
And for budget, I'll just move on over to there since it's the next one on the list. We did have the budget committee meeting was last Wednesday, right? No, the 18th, 2 Wednesdays ago. And what we were discussing there was just kind of trying to do an oversight on where we're at with the budget right now. Mr. Sykes and I gave a really good, well, Mr. Sykes gave a really good detailed on how the budget works to the committee. I know we do have a few newer members on the committee, and just kind of went over, walked through with all the revenue expenditures where it sits now. Some of the main things that what we're really looking at, well, for revenue part, it's going to be, I'm waiting for our gas taxes to come in because I don't know where we're sitting on there. I can only kind of do a guesstimate based on last year. And the big difference is going to be when the property tax revenue comes in, or well, when I hear what it'll be, and that will be not until the beginning of August was when I'll have that final number in. We went over the salary matrix, and it is negotiated was 1.5 raise and the 1% step, which is goes into effect this year. And I'd like to get that resolution to everybody for all the increases by the next meeting, so we can have that ready to go going into the new year. As of July 1. Let's see what else we got here. One of the biggest differences is Sam did find out that council pay can actually be split between general, water, and sewer, which it's always been ran through the general fund. So that was able to free up a little bit of money in the general fund by splitting it out. So it'll help to go to different areas in there. And one of the big differences this year is going to be our cemetery perpetual fund. That actually has to be a fund of its own that hadn't been started in the past, so that will be started going forward, and it'll be 15% of all plot sales will go into that fund for future, kind of like what they're doing now, having to add on to the cemetery, so that will start building that fund up. One of the big differences this year was a camp host. We have had a really hard time getting a camp host in there and keeping a camp host. So that was actually raised from $200 a month to $500 a month to try to keep somebody in there that will, you know, keep everything good in the cemetery, in the park there. And the timeline. Unless there's some major changes going through, we will schedule a meeting sometime this month. But right now, if everything kind of stays the same, looking at trying to get a meeting together on July 19th to get the committee together for any final things that need to be discussed, and then bring it forward to council for the preliminary budget on August 3rd. And at that time, we'll get the public hearing scheduled. And we'll have the public hearing on August 17th so that we can have everything ready to go because it does have to be submitted by the 8th of September. And this way, if something comes up in the meantime, we'll have plenty of time. So anyway, Budget Committee, was there anything else you needed to add to that? Or any questions?
Selected a chair.
Oh, who is the chair of the Budget Committee? You are. There you go.
Did
Pointing fingers.
Did we vote on that?
It wasn't on the agenda. We discussed it, so it'll be on the agenda for the next one.
Not yet.
I forgot to put it on there.
Okay, so we
Discussed
we
it.
volunteered a chair
There you go.
to vote on.
We selected a single candidate to
There you go. Perfect. Any other comments from the Budget Committee? On the cemetery perpetual fund, that's actually something that's been in ordinances, I want to say, for 18 years. And the council and the budget never put any money in that account like it was supposed to. So that's, we're kind of in the rears on that, so we need to move forward with that and make sure we're up to our ordinances and follow the plans that were set forth. So if that's nothing else from Budget Committee, did the public have any comments on the budget? Nobody online. Is there a Building Committee report?
Nothing at this time.
How about Cemetery and Parks?
We will be having a meeting next Monday, the 8th at 12:30 p.m. to discuss the fire department's proposal.
And have you gotten in touch with Chief Lauer then?
Yeah.
Okay. He stopped in the other day asking if anything had happened, so.
Yeah, I sent him an email. He got back to me a couple days ago. So.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Perfect. And how about a fire report?
No fire report tonight.
Perfect. Light street sidewalks?
We're hoping to have a meeting next week. We'll see if we can get together and pick a date
Perfect.
to continue discussing additional parking.
Perfect. Ordinance Committee? Nothing at
I
this time.
guess that's me. Nothing.
Okay. How about Shade Tree?
We had one citizen reach out with some concerns about a tree on city property, and we hopefully will be getting that taken care of here.
Outstanding. How about water and sewer?
I think we have-
Oops, sorry.
Mr. Mayor, on Main Street, right behind the Moody laundromat, a couple of new trees got planted in front of the guy with the turf,
Okay.
and they got raked up from bucks last year. And the one's looking good, the other one's about halfway. I keep forgetting to say something about, I didn't know if there's any wrap or anything for those to try and protect them.
Yeah, we have
Save them.
We have a couple different animal barriers.
Okay.
We usually put two different ones on the same tree, so if one fails, the other one can
Okay.
step in. But yeah, I will make a note of that and look into it.
Perfect. Sorry about that. Any other comments? Water and sewer?
Nothing new at this time.
Perfect. That'll move us on to public comment on non-agenda items. This
Can
is
I-
the- oh,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Can I make an update on the wildlife committee?
Sure.
We are just, we've been working with the VFW and Fish, Wildlife and Parks. We're hopefully gonna be moving forward with the turkey culling in town. We should be hopefully having a committee meeting next week. We don't have a date yet. We're waiting to hear back from Brian. He's meeting with his team tomorrow. So
Perfect.
we'll hopefully have a date to put out through Leanne tomorrow.
Perfect.
Is that Brian with the VFW?
Yes. Yes, Brian Sharp.
There we go. Well, that'll move us on to public comments and non-agenda items then. This is the opportunity for the public to offer comments related to issues that are not currently on the agenda. The council has that the council has jurisdiction over. Public comment is limited to 3 minutes. Do we have any public comment? Have any public comment online? Seeing none, we will move on to new business. That brings us to approve appointments on the police commission. We had an opening for an expiration. The only letter of intent we got was from Mr. Brad Nelson, who was currently on the police commission. I gave you all a copy of his letter of intent. So I would entertain a motion to accept his letter.
I make a motion to accept Brad Nelson's letter for the police commission.
Second.
Is there any council discussion? Any public comment? I'll call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Perfect. Motion carries. I will let Mr. Nelson know that he's got 4 more years. That brings us to approve Resolution 2069, MSEP Commitment of Funds. So resolution number 2069, whereas the City of Libby applied for the Montana Department of Commerce financial assistance for the Montana Coal Endowment Program, MSEP, for improvements to the wastewater system, and whereas the City of Libby received the MSEP grant for $500,000 in financial assistance for improvements to to their wastewater system, and whereas the City of Libby received an RRGL grant for $125,000 in financial assistance for improvements to their wastewater system, and whereas the City of Libby has legal jurisdiction and authority to construct, finance, operate, and maintain the wastewater system, and that the City of Libby agrees to comply with all state law and regulations and requirements described in the NCEP application guideline and those that will be described in the NCEP Project Administration Manual, that the City of Libby firmly commits to provide local funds in the amount of at least $375,000 for the wastewater fund for the system improvements, and that Hugh Taylor is authorized to commit funds on the behalf of the City of Libby and to act on the behalf to provide such additional information as may be required. Therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Libby that the resolution is effective on June 1st, 2026.
Make a motion to approve Resolution 2069.
Second.
Is there any council discussion on this? Questions? Any public comment? Seeing no public comment, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Resolution is approved. That moves us to approve claims received to date. Did everyone get a chance to view those?
Make a motion to approve all claims received to date.
Second.
Is there any council discussion on claims? Any public comment on claims? Seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Claims are approved. We don't have any unfinished business. That moves us to general comments from the council. Does the council have any comments?
Remember to vote tomorrow,
There you go.
And then,
if you haven't.
next agenda, can we get the,
She's already got that. She's already got that listed on the list because we both forgot.
and then I was hoping to, see about council security cameras
Yes. Let's get that on there too.
for the zone, because these guys are crazy out there.
Any other council comments?
Are these ones not working anymore?
They don't.
They don't? Okay.
None of them outside the building don't work either.
Oh, okay.
For
Gotcha.
years.
Yeah. So, being that, I'd entertain a motion.
Make a motion. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.